Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to discuss the topic of epithelium. We all know epithelium is one of the four basic tissues of our body. The other three are nervous tissue, muscles and the connective tissue. So we define epithelium as a single layer of cohesive sheet of cells. We define epithelium as a cohesive sheet of cells. By the word cohesive we mean that the cells of epithelium are closely packed to each other. You cannot see any gap between the adjacent epithelial cells. Another fact about epithelium is that it's a avascular tissue. By the word avascular we mean that epithelium do not have its own blood supply. We cannot see any blood vessels running between the adjacent epithelial cells, and for its nourishment epithelium is totally dependent on the underlying connective tissue. Okay, where you can find epithelium? You can find epithelium covering the external surface of our body, for example making a part of your skin, and as well as you can see it lining the internal organs of your body. Okay, for example your GIT organs, your intestines, your stomach, they are all lined by the epithelium. Their luminal surface, their internal lining is made up of epithelium. The third important location of epithelium are the glands, both exocrine glands and endocrine glands. In these glands, epithelium make the part of their secretory portion as well as it's a part of their conducting pathway. Okay, so the other important topic that we will discuss today is the type of epithelium or classification of epithelium. We can classify epithelium on the basis of the number of layers of epithelial cells and according to the shape of epithelial cells. According to the number of layers of epithelial cells, we have two types: simple epithelium, in which we have a single layer of epithelial cells resting on the basement membrane. Like in these three images you can see we have a single layer of epithelial cells. And in stratified epithelium, the other type of epithelium is stratified epithelium. In stratified epithelium you have more than one layers of epithelial cells. As you can see here, we have multiple layers of epithelial cells resting on the basement membrane. Then we have certain special types of epithelial structures. One of this is pseudostratified epithelium. In pseudostratified epithelium, we have a single layer of epithelium resting on the basement membrane, but in microscope it gives the appearance of a multi-layered or stratified epithelium. So it is so because of the fact that the nuclei of these epithelial cells are not consistent in their position. Although it's a single layer of epithelium, but the level of nuclei of these epithelial cell is not consistent. Some of the cells have their nuclei in their top position, while other cells have their nuclei in the bottom position. So because of this difference in level of nuclei, when you observe in microscope, this epithelium looks like a stratified or multi-layered epithelium. Okay, then according to the shape of epithelium, we can classify epithelium into a squamous epithelium, the first type of epithelium in which the shape of the cell is flattened with a central, oblong or ovoid nuclei. The other type is cuboidal epithelium, in which the epithelial cells have a cubical shape, or you can more clearly define it as a type of epithelial cells in which the height and width of epithelial cell is equal and they have a central nuclei. So this type of epithelial cell is called cuboidal epithelium with a cube shape epithelial cells. And then we have columnar epithelium, in which the height of epithelial cell is more than the width of their epithelial cells. Okay, the height of cell is greater than the width, so the term used here is columnar epithelium. Then we have another special type, which is transitional epithelium. In transitional epithelium, the shape of epithelial cell is not consistent. A difference in the shape of cells come according to the activity of the organ in which this type of epithelium is present. We will discuss this transitional epithelium in detail later on. Okay, what are the functions of epithelium? Again, there are epithelium perform different functions in different areas and different locations of your body. For example, in GIT, epithelium perform the function of absorption of nutrients from GI tract. Then in respiratory tract, epithelium do the function of exchange of gases, and so on. Okay, so today we will discuss the first type of epithelium, which is simple squamous epithelium. The name, you can see the name is simple squamous. So by the word simple, we can identify it will be a single layer of epithelium, and the word squamous, I told you, it's about flat shaped cells. Okay, so simple squamous epithelium is a single layer of flattened cells. The other important point you can see in simple squamous epithelium is a central oblong or ovoid nuclei, and this epithelium will be resting on a basement membrane. Here you can see a very clear cut image of a simple squamous epithelium, oval shaped nuclei and flattened cells. These cells are then resting on the underlying pinkish connective tissue. Okay, so where you can find simple squamous epithelium, it will be present in the lining of blood vessels where it is called endothelium. You can find them in the peritoneum where it is given the name of mesothelium. Then similarly we can have it in the alveoli of lungs where it form the exchange of gases, and in the glomeruli of kidney. How to identify? Again, by the number of layers and by the shape of cells. In this image, try to locate the epithelium. So it's a lumen of some kind of blood vessels. Here you can see a very clear simple squamous epithelial layer with oval shaped clear cut nuclei. Another image, it's a more clear image. You can see simple squamous epithelium with very prominent nuclei. Okay, thank you for watching the video.